Now, if you didn't see it, where have you been? But there's a great video going around of AOC doing a town hall meeting, and a member of the audience gets up to ask a question, and it's a young woman who says she's very concerned about climate change, but she's worried that we don't have enough time to do what we need to stop it, and the only solution is going to be to eat our babies. This joke, or practical joke, or troll, did a lot more than just make us laugh, because it did. It also suggests a very productive way to ask questions of people who are concerned about climate change and are in the political realm. And here's the serious question that the troll sort of makes us think of, and now it's in the public mind. And here's the serious question: Hey AOC, you said that we're all in trouble and it's too late probably to do anything about climate change. Maybe it's too late, maybe it's not. But here's my question: what should I do as a citizen to prepare for the climate catastrophe? Here's another one. Can you give us a sense what is a bigger risk? Is it a bigger risk to aggressively pursue the newer, safer types of nuclear power plants, or is it a bigger risk not to? As if today could get any better. Seriously? Come on. Join me now for the simultaneous sip. Oh, delightful. Delightful. So there's some things happening in the news. It's one of the funniest news days of all time. Now, if you didn't see it, where have you been? But there's a great video going around of AOC doing a town hall meeting, and a member of the audience gets up to ask a question, and it's a young woman who says she's very concerned about climate change, but she's worried that we don't have enough time to do what we need to stop it, and the only solution is going to be to eat our babies. So maybe bomb Russia, but definitely eat the babies. And she revealed that she had a t-shirt, "Eat the babies." Now, if you didn't see it, here's the funny part. AOC and the rest of the crowd couldn't tell if she was a troll or if she meant it. Now, approximately a third of the country, have you ever heard that estimate before? 1/3 of the people in this country, and really 1/3 of humans, don't have a sense of humor and don't know it. It's the don't know it part that's the funny part. Approximately, I saw somebody do a Twitter poll asking how many people thought that the woman was a real person who was maybe a little distraught, and how many thought she was obviously a troll. 38%, obviously this is not a scientific poll, it's on Twitter, but 38% said they thought she was real. 38%, kind of close to 1/3. It's in that neighborhood. Yeah, about 1/3 of people can't recognize a joke when they see it. They actually have to be told by other people, or they have to listen to laughter, or they have to have some kind of cue to tell them it's a joke. Now, you probably think that the first time you heard me say that, because I've been saying it for a while, the first time you heard it, didn't you think that was the biggest load of BS you ever heard in your life? Didn't you say to yourself, 1/3 of the people in the world can't recognize a joke? Scott, that's crazy talk. Well, I am a professional humorist who's been doing this for a number of decades, and I promise you, 1/3 of the public doesn't have a sense of humor. Like, actually just doesn't have one. Let's talk about this prank. Now, I'm going to label it a prank because I don't think there's the slightest chance it's anything else. I recognized it immediately. The moment she said something about eating babies, I was like, oh, prank. Let's see where this goes. And then at the end, I noticed that people were sort of not sure if they should take her literally. And I thought to myself, best day ever. Best day ever. Now, there's somebody taking credit for the troll, but I don't believe them yet, so I'm not going to even mention that. But let me teach you something about a good practical joke. And I would call this a practical joke. You could call it a troll. But the best practical jokes have a specific quality to them that poorly planned jokes do not. This one was a thing of beauty. Because the essential quality of a good practical joke, a really high level one, one that's really well thought out, is that the only person who will believe the essence of the joke is the target of the joke. So the best joke is one that only somebody who is living in their own little delusion could possibly believe that the prank was something real. That's what makes a great prank. It has to be only invisible to the target. Man, did this prank kill that. I mean, on that dimension, it's very clear, not only from the comments after the event, but what was happening during, that the people in the audience, and AOC for a while anyway, and maybe she still believes it, couldn't tell. They actually couldn't tell if they had alarmed people into being so afraid of the climate that eating babies sounded like a pretty good idea. Now, some of you know the Jonathan Swift modest proposal history of this. I won't get into it. You can Google it. Just Google a modest proposal, and you'll see some historical precedent for this. Now, this joke, or practical joke, or troll, did a lot more than just make us laugh, because it did. It also suggests a very productive way to ask questions of people who are concerned about climate change and are in the political realm. And here's the serious question that the troll sort of makes us think of, and now it's in the public mind. And here's the serious question: Hey AOC, so this is not a troll. This is a serious question. AOC, you said that we're all in trouble and it's too late probably to do anything about climate change. Maybe it's too late, maybe it's not. But here's my question: what should I do as a citizen to prepare for the climate catastrophe? Now, besides voting, besides being politically active, what can I do in my actual personal life? What should I do with my investments? What should I do with my home? What should I do with where I live? All of my personal big decisions. What should I do differently because climate change is coming? Should I change my investments? Should I move? Should I, other than recycling and voting and stuff, what should I really do to prepare for a calamity? Because if the answer is nothing, what does that say about the risk? And if the answer is not nothing, what exactly should they do? Let me give you some examples. Wouldn't you invest differently? Should you put your money in Bitcoin? By the way, none of this is financial advice or anything like it. I'm just running through things that could be said. I'm not saying these are good ideas, just to be clear. Should you take all your money out of the stock market? Should you stop spending because there'll be an economic meltdown and you need everything you can keep? Exactly what should you do to prepare? Now, again, I'm not talking about plant a tree, vote for a Democrat, form a grassroots movement. I'm not talking about political stuff. Like, what should I do in my personal life? Think about it. How would you answer that question? It's a devastating question. Here's another one. AOC, I hear what you're saying about climate change, and I believe you. I believe what you're saying about the risks. Can you give us a sense, what is a bigger risk? Is it a bigger risk to aggressively pursue the newer, safer types of nuclear power plants, or is it a bigger risk not to? Can you lay that out for us? Now, keep in mind, I believe that AOC has an economics degree. And I would love to see her answer the question economically and otherwise, which is the bigger risk? Because part of what you learn in economics is comparing things and risk management. I'd like to see her answer that question.